How many of us eat radishes and throw out the greens? Radish greens are delicious and they are very rich in vitamins and minerals. These actually will protect your immune system and they will protect you from diabetes. These are a powerhouse. Hi and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm making radish greens cooked in a bed of ground pumpkin seeds with unripe bananas. This is delicious. I no longer throw away my radish greens. When I eat radishes, I just cut off the top, wash them, slice them, and put them in the freezer. When I have enough, I cook a whole meal just with radish greens. Sometimes I add them to other foods that I make. If I'm making other greens, I'll just open the freezer, grab one bag of radish greens and throw them in there, and they mix together and they cook. Back home we have a green called chia. I don't know what that's called in English. So I'm gonna cook radish greens today like you will cook chia back in Cameroon. I don't have chia here, but I wanted to eat something that tastes like it. And it's a bit bitter and a little bit spicy. It is delicious. I'm just gonna take up the radishes and put them in a container. I have a jar here, and keep them in the fridge. I eat radishes every day when they're in season. I just snack on 2 or 3 of them. They are a cruciferous veggie and they are good with weight loss. Tasty stuff. I put them in my salads when I make salads. I roast them in the oven when I'm roasting other veggies. I put some radishes in there. It just roasted, it tastes like onion, so it's really tasty. So I have my radish greens in a bowl. I'm just gonna go to the sink and wash them and get all the sand out, and then come back and chop them. My greens are clean. I'm gonna chop them up. These greens have the same texture like mustard greens. You can actually cook this using mustard greens. So I have some that I just pulled out from the freezer, frozen ones. I'm just going to put them all together. Radish greens. When veggies are cooked like this with maybe peanuts or pumpkin seeds, they're usually cooked in a bed of maybe some kind of meat, some kind of smoked fish. Today I'm gonna use some smoked fish, but I'm gonna cook the meal. You see a small pot here. In this pot I have some smoked fish that I'm cooking until it gets soft. That's what I'm gonna, put in the pot that my husband is gonna eat, so he has some fish. But I'm gonna cook the main meal here. This is what pumpkin seeds look like. See the green color? But in Africa, like Cameroon where I come from, ours is just white. We don't have the green color around it. So to cook this meal, I'm gonna mix both of them, the green one and the white one. I have a bowl here. I've already ground some. That's a green one on the side here, and that's the white one. It's the same thing. So pumpkin seeds can be eaten raw, and they can also be cooked. I'm gonna season my mushrooms with some cumin, some coriander, and some oregano. I'm gonna go in with the onions. After a couple of minutes, I'm gonna go in with my ginger and garlic. What we call chia, the greens that I spoke about, Those are the greens of the African eggplant. You know, the very small round eggplants? Yeah, the greens, we call them anchia. I don't know what's called in other parts of the world, but in Cameroon we call them anchia. So you can totally cook this with anchia. I'm gonna cook this for about 3 minutes again before I add my tomatoes. Ground pumpkin seeds. Like a pinch of salt, just to give it a little bit of flavor, because I'm gonna pour in some warm water to it. Like so. Okay. I'm gonna mix it. I'm gonna put some of it in the soup, and the rest of it I'm gonna drop them in, so I have some lumps. I'm gonna put in my tomatoes. I have some already ground dry peppers. I'm gonna put some in there because I like spicy food. I have some onion powder. So even if I use fresh onions, I still like to, you know, shake in some onion powder and some garlic powder in my food. I'll let this cook until it starts sticking to the pot before I add some water. Notice I'm not using any oil. Pumpkin seeds have enough fat in them and they can make their own oil, so I don't need to add any extra oil to it. I'm gonna go in with the celery. It's beginning to stick to the pot. It's time to add some water. I'm gonna go in with some water. So, and then I'm gonna put half of my pumpkin seeds in. The rest I'm just gonna drop it when it starts boiling. So I have some lumps of pumpkin seed. Tasty stuff. I'm gonna mix that in. Notice I haven't put any salt yet, so it's time to put some salt so the flavors begin to come together. I'm gonna put some Bragg's liquid aminos in and 1 miso cube. Yeah, miso is a good replacement to Maggi cubes that causes all kinds of allergies and sickness to your body because of the MSG. I'm gonna close this and bring it to a boil. When it starts boiling, then I'll drop the rest of the pumpkin seeds inside. It's beginning to boil. I'm gonna drop the rest of my pumpkin seeds inside. If you're trying to create lumps, you don't stir it until the lumps thicken or stiffen and it cannot be broken up anymore. After dropping the pumpkin seeds, you just close it and let it boil gently on low without stirring until the pumpkin seeds make a lump. Eat my veggies with, today I have green bananas. Green bananas are very, very good for you. So if you go to the grocery store where they sell bananas, you look for the ones that are not ripe. So where I come from, we have a lot of meals that we make with green bananas. Today I'm just gonna boil them. Green bananas are like your prebiotic. They're very, very good for your stomach. those who have stomach disorders, whether it's diarrhea, constipation, stomach ulcers, or digestive tract infections and stuff, irritable bowel syndrome, IBS, eat green bananas. It's gonna help you. So to boil them, you don't need to peel them. Just have a pot of water and then break them up like that. Cut this part and that part like this. I'll show you how I cut it. Like that. If your pot is small, you can cut them in half. Like so. And then just put them in a pot. So while I'm waiting for my pumpkin seeds to get ready, I'm gonna start boiling my bananas. These are pretty good for those with diabetes. You can see I have them in the pot there. I'm just gonna put that to boil until they're cooked. You can see my lumps have been made. In addition to the mushrooms, I'm just gonna throw in a few soy curls in here, like a handful. So you wanna cook this until they are done. It can take up to 30 minutes. I'm just gonna add some water and let them cook. Also gives your mushroom time to cook. I'll let it cook until it's thick and most of the water is gone before I add my greens. My bananas have been cooking for about 15 minutes. They are done. I'm just going to turn it off and then drain out the water. Drain them out. Back to my pumpkin seeds. It's been about 10 minutes. I'll give it another 10 minutes and check. So as the pumpkin seeds cook, you begin to see some oil coming out of it. It's like I put a bit of oil, but I didn't put any oil. So I'm going to put in my greens. It's been going for about 20 minutes. I have some sea veggies. I've got some nori flakes. I'm going to sprinkle some in there. That's how I get my iodine or iodine from sea veggies, because I don't eat animal flesh. I'm gonna add some fennel, ground fennel. Fennel is great with veggies, tastes really good. I'm gonna let the veggies cook for a little bit, maybe 5 minutes, and then I check again. 5 minutes. I'm gonna add in a little bit of nutritional yeast. So in Cameroon, people would typically put what they call crayfish. Those are like the smallest kind of shrimp that people use like a seasoning in Cameroon or other parts of Africa. But I don't eat any animal protein, so I'm just going to use a bit of nutritional yeast to get that same flavor. I have the sea veggies in here that already gives it like a fishy taste, like I cooked it with fish, and then I add a bit of nutritional yeast. Now you think I put Maggi cube in this food. I didn't. So I have my smoked fish on the side. I'm just going to take some of this, put it in there, so the fish gets the flavor of the food, just like so. And I'm going to mix it in the fish. So even if you had used like some beef, when you cook the beef and it's almost done, you take some of the food, mix it in it. Now all of us are going to eat the main dish, but when he serves himself, he's gonna come in here and take some of the fish that has the flavor from the food. That way everybody eats and everybody is happy. He had some fish, I didn't. So that's what it looks like. He's just gonna serve himself from the main pot and then take some of that fishy mixture, and he had his veggies cooked with fish. So that's the easy way to do it if you're going to be cooking for yourself and other people who don't eat like you. Just take some of it on the side, put whatever is you're making in there. If it was beef, you do the same, or fresh fish. But for fresh fish, you can just air fry the fish and everybody eats from the main pot, and then the fish is on the side for those who want fish. So that's how you could do it. I'm gonna let this cook for another 5 minutes and then turn it off. My greens are done. It's time to plate it and do a taste test. I have 2 bananas or 4 pieces since I cut them up. I have my sauce. This can be eaten with any tuber. You can totally pour this on rice and enjoy it. But I wanted some unripe bananas today. So this is not a taste test. I'm just gonna eat. It's lunchtime. This is delicious. Stop throwing away your radish greens.